Hey, and thanks for tuning in to Notations of a Nappy Girl, episode 42. See, I remembered. Okay, if you hear noise in the background, I decided to run appliances and do a video at the same time, so I'm sorry if the sound is distorted. Um, what I wanted to talk about today is the fact that I don't have this scripted. I don't have anything written down. I don't have like a planner of things that I want to talk about or anything like that. Just whenever the mood hits me to do a video, I do a video. So hence the noise. But what I wanted to say was, in addition to that, I saw a video today, and it's probably been around for a while, and it kind of set something off in my head. So I kind of wanted to address it. And the ideology of what I wanted to talk about was self-worth and how to value oneself, or how little people tend to value themselves in today's society. Um, the video I saw, you guys have probably seen it. It wasn't a bad video, in my opinion. A lot of people had a lot of bad things to say about it. But the scene of the video is like a picture of a girl sitting on a bed with her back turned, and on her wall is an array of pictures of males with a condom hanging under each one. So that initially caught my eye, like, what the hell is that? So when I watched it, the narrator of the video, movie, what have you, went on to talk about how all women are sluts, all women are whores, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of blew me away. Not so much that he hit on the fact that women have whorish behaviors and things like that. What got me is that he didn't hit on the fact that men too have whorish behaviors. And you know how they say birds of a feather? Whorish men attract whorish women, and vice versa. And a lot of people don't really understand that the universe you put, not the universe, the energy you put out in the universe comes back to you tenfold. So typically what you're putting out there is what's coming back your way. Um, and the reason I wanted to talk about self-worth was because a lot of things that the young man hit on in the video were dead on, that we do glorify the imagery of whoredom. That's a good one. Yeah, we do. From the videos that we watch to the movies that we watch. I mean, everything. We live in a completely over sexualized environment, society. And that explains why, when you look at statistics for things like rape, date rape, sexual assault, intermarriage rape, things like that, those numbers have steadily increased since, I want to say, the 1920s. Like, I know there was a study that was done in 1937 that talked about incidences of rape that, well, I guess that were reported. Well, now we have so many different categories that rape can go into, and it's more widely being reported. So you would definitely expect the influx in the numbers, but the intensity, the graphic nature of assault and things like that, it's going up. And as a victim of assault, I can say it's not a good thing. It's a scary feeling. It's a paralyzing feeling. But to say that we as a society welcome this because of the behaviors that we put out there and the things that we teach our children is an understatement. People, if we have children watching all this twerking and coochie popping and all that stuff from the time that they're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, they in the car with mama and she's singing and she's a bad bitch, she a ride or die bitch, and all that. And we got our young boys hearing this, and this is black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I'm not talking about any particular race. We all hear it because it's there in all different types of music. You can't even watch a horror movie without there being a sex scene. Now, I know that's crazy. You want to see the blood, but you don't want to see the sex. Well, at least I don't. But it's the same thing. We are very graphic. Our video games. Yes, I'm a gamer sometimes. Um, Even with our video games, there is a whole lot of sex. There's a whole lot of violence. I played a video game where you can go pick up the stripper from the club and you can get you some head in the car. And then you can just tell her, get out of my car, ho. And the problem is we have girls playing these games. We have boys playing these games. And it's just like, how do they know how to differentiate fact from fiction, or real versus reality versus fantasy, when everything permeates their very existence. Everything that they do, it's right there constantly. So, whereas the video, I was disturbed by the usage of his wording and how heavily he tried to draw, had to push the draw the fact home that women are whores. What I think is happening is women aren't whores. Not inherently. Men aren't whores inherently. I think what's happening is we have a dumbing down of our nation. And with that dumbing down of our nation, we are neglecting or negating the responsibility of educating our children, which is our next generation of leaders, as to what is acceptable. Now, my nieces, I have a whole bunch of them. I think the oldest is 22. The youngest is like 7 or 8. And they know when TT come in the room, you can't do none of that booty popping. And at the family reunions, all the little girls be dancing, get it. No, not with auntie. For me, that's not cute. I don't like to hear my nephews, I have a lot of those too, talking about this hoe and that hoe and this bitch did this. And I instantly jump right in. Whoa, you want somebody talking about your mama like that? And I think until we recondition ourselves as to what's acceptable, yes, we have freedom of speech, we have freedom of expression. People can do and say as they please. But until we learn to moderate ourselves as individuals and moderate what we're teaching our children, because you got kids teaching kids, so you got people growing up with their kid instead of being a parent to their kid. But I think that if we get back to the old school way of mothers and fathers staying on their daughters about what they wear, leaving something to the imagination, carrying yourself like a lady, that it's not about the makeup, the hairdo, the eyelashes, the nails, all your boobies and your booty out. It's not about all that. Once we get our young men to understand that a woman is not the sum of her parts. It's not what she can do for you with her mouth or what's between her legs, but more so what's between her two shoulders. What can she bring to the table to enrich you as a man? I think until we teach our kids that, and until we stress these things to them, then we're going to continue to live in a society that is pervaded by violence and brutality. And I mean, it's almost barbaric in the sense when you look at the way that people hoop and holler at these half-dressed women. And you have women who say it's very liberating. I don't knock nothing. If it's what you do, it's what you do. If you're a video vixen, an exotic dancer, or a stripper, or an escort, whatever your label is, be the best at whatever it is that you're doing. But at the same time, no matter what you're doing, conduct yourself with a level of decorum. Demand the same respect that you put out there to the rest of the people in the world. And if we teach our little girls that from the cradle, and we teach our little boys that from the cradle, then we will not exist within a society in which neither sex truly respects each other. It's like you think about the problems of the world and it's insurmountable when you then add in the fact that the sexes don't even get along. Because outside of being a human, then you have a gender. Then you have some people, you have a gender identity, which may be different from your actual gender. Then you also have your race, your creed, your culture, your color. So we have all these different barriers that we have to deal with. Why do we also have to heap on that as human beings, male and females, do not even respect one another? Simply because we weren't taught. And I've worked with kids, I've worked with teens, I've worked with adults, and I see it in every single race. I see it in every single religion. It has nothing, it comes down to the basic existential aspects of being a human being. You respect your fellow man and you treat him with such respect, regardless of what you want from that person. And then we too must value ourselves and enough to know that dude standing on the corner talking about, "Hey, shorty, what's good?" Ain't nothing good. Nothing, because you don't know me to talk to me like that. Same thing. Well, when you got women who are very, very aggressive, who might hit on the dudes, what's up, daddy? What's good with you? What's cracking? Nothing. And that's exactly what they should say. I tell my son that all the time. A female come at you like that, that's just a female. It's not a woman. And we have gotten so far out of our roles, and people say we don't have roles. Yes, we do, and we always will. My son said, a female said to him one day, this wasn't recent, so just in case his fiance is watching, well, it's not recent. Somebody said to him that, she wanted to see what he was working with. He said, what you mean? She said, you know, in your pants, what's your D game like? Whoa. And he's like, well, Ma, you know, how you respond to a chick like that? Because I don't really like chicks all in my grill like that. I said, and you shouldn't. Because the bottom line is, if she's offering it to you that easy, she going to offer it to the next man that easy. So I surmise all this to say, respect yourself first. Demand the same respect that you put out in the universe. Demand it for yourself. If you demand it for yourself and you respect yourself, then there's nothing nobody can take away from you. Nothing. So, with that being said, I'm done. I ran kind of long, so peace and blessings, people. Be good.